The senator from Hampshire, Franklin, and Worcester, Senator Comerford.
Madam President, and through you to our colleagues, Madam President, I rise to make a brief statement in support of this budget. And may I say at the beginning of that statement that I always learn a great deal from the exchanges between the Minority Leader and the Chair of Ways and Means. Today was no different. So, Madam President, this is a momentous budget before us, thanks to the Chair of Ways and Means and our Senate President, whose commitment to better government, to ensure equity, and to serve every resident of the Commonwealth can be seen in every facet of this budget. Sincere gratitude as well to the staff of the committee, the Senate President's office, my own team, Senate Council clerks, and court officers. Nothing is possible without them. We all know that in this chamber. The word of the day is bold. Before us is a budget that takes enormous, bold leaps in making the Commonwealth a better place for all of us, from cradle to career, as the Senate President says. I specifically want to highlight the higher ed provisions of the budget. First, I want to thank the Department of Higher Education Commissioner Noe Ortega and the Department of Higher Education team. They are steadfast partners to us. The historic investments proposed today send a clear message to all people in Massachusetts. It's the same message that you can read on a banner at Greenfield Community College in my district. You belong here. The state wants to invest in you. With this budget, the Senate continues to double down on building back the power and the promise of public higher education, a commitment to the state's students, families, and all who are living and working in the Commonwealth. With this budget, the Senate demonstrates an understanding of this truth. Public higher education is our state's greatest equity engine. It's also our greatest economic engine. A moment ago, the Minority Leader talked about competitiveness. Well, our workforce needs are holding back our economy, and the Commonwealth's public higher education institutions have the key, producing thousands of skilled and capable Massachusetts students who disproportionately are likely to stay in state and begin their careers, pursue their dreams, and all that flows from there. This budget provides over $2 billion in investments to expand equitable access to public higher education, including $760.5 million for the University of Massachusetts system. I'm proud to represent UMass Amherst. More than $381 million for 15 community colleges. The chair talked about that particular investment. More than $370 million for 9 state universities. $175 million for financial aid, including $5 million for an early educator scholarships to develop our early education workforce. $5 million for the Massachusetts Inclusive Concurrent Enrollment Initiative, or MACI, a beautiful program to support students with intellectual disabilities with increased access to higher education opportunities. $15 million for early college programs, and $13.1 million for the state's dual enrollment initiative, both of which provide high school students with increased opportunities for postgraduate success. It's the beginning of the pipeline. The plan that undergirds these investments is called Mass Educate, and the centerpiece is free tuition and fees for all Massachusetts residents who want to attend at least one of the state's 15 community colleges. In addition to tuition and fees, Mass Educate includes $1,200 in an annual stipend to cover books and supplies and other educational expenses. For students who are currently low income and who receive federal Pell Grants, Mass Educate offers an additional stipend, bringing the total to $2,400 for Pell-eligible students. This builds on the successful Mass Reconnect program initiated by Governor Healy and the Senate's Free Nursing Program initiative led by the Senate President, which in just 1 year have been responsible for an 8% enrollment increase at Massachusetts community colleges, unequivocally reversing a previous and debilitating downward trend. In addition, Mass Educate slashes the cost of attending four-year public higher education institution, both for state universities and UMass campuses. Right now, with the current Senate-led investment, 25,000 Massachusetts students who are currently low or lower middle income are attending Massachusetts higher education institutions for free. Tuition fees, books, supplies, free, thanks to a program called Mass Grant Plus. This budget provides an additional $25 million for Mass Grant Plus, which will expand the number of students supported by this life-changing, life-altering program. Mass Educate also fully funds the Success Program. The wildly successful and aptly named Success Program supports community college students who are facing the most significant systemic barriers, provided targeted, tailored services like mentoring, academic skills, peer coaching to low-income, immigrant, and first-generation students. Most recently, the research indicates that students in the program had a 16% increase in completion rates compared to their peers who were not in the program. For Black students, that percentage increase was 22%. Black students in Success were 22% more likely to persist and complete. Mass Educate provides $18 million for Success, fully funding that program. Going even further, Mass Educate creates the Student Persistence Fund, offering extra help to low-income students who face needs like childcare or food insecurity or short-term housing needs that can be barriers to success at school and persistence and completion to graduation. $10 million dedicated to strengthening students' ability to persist and complete. It's a down payment, I would suggest, on the Senate's understanding that we must address the total cost of college, especially for students living with the lowest incomes. That is the Senate's commitment to equity. Mass Educate also creates a clear, seamless pathway for transfers between 2- and 4-year institutions, serving students wherever they go. Thank you to the gentleman from Worcester who has long called us to strengthen mass transfer. Finally, this budget and Mass Educate launches a fast-paced task force to further improve the quality and affordability of higher education in the Commonwealth across the 29 campus ecosystem. And thank you to the gentleman from Acton who has long called us to think of our 4-year ecosystem as important and our need to make it fully accessible. Are we finished yet? Absolutely not. The Senate is aware that the deferred maintenance on college campuses has reached a blistering $6 billion, and our Chair of Ways and Means is more aware of that than any of us. We are aware that salaries for faculty and staff, especially at community colleges, are far, far too low, and they are debilitating. We know that there are still too many barriers to entering college and that there are costs of colleges beyond tuition fees, books, and supplies. So we'll keep pushing forward, friends, guided by an enduring commitment to equity to ensure that Massachusetts is a state where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Investing in public higher education today means a brighter future for all tomorrow. Thank you, Madam President.